We all know that the Leachie Gecko is the largest gecko in the world from New Caledonia. Or is it? More on that a little later in the vlog. But for now, let's just keep saying Leachie geckos are the largest gecko in the world. And we got some new ones, right?
Yeah, you haven't seen them yet, right?
I have not seen these. Someone actually called us and actually wanted to drop off a pair of Leachie geckos. And from what I hear, they have the largest of our largest geckos in this Leachie gecko. Let's take a look. By the way, look at all these cool plants. I tell you what, we're all plant crazy here. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. Jessica's leading the way. Oh,
this is fat boy.
Sure is. This is a giant Leachie gecko.
Put it by your head, bro. I gotta see it by your head.
I mean, take a look at the size of that Leachie. We have a lot of big Leachie geckos, but this is certainly, you say, what's his name?
Fat boy.
Fat boy? This is Fat Boy, and I can see why he's Fat Boy. This is a ginormous Leachie gecko. We got a female as well?
Yep, we did get a female. She's not as friendly as he is.
Okay,
so
okay.
I can get her out. She might not, but she's in here in the tube. Her name's Creature.
Wow, she's pretty. Wow, these are too
fast.
dark. Look at how dark both of these guys are.
Don't know the exact locality. I can check with Ashley. She probably got all that information, but these are definitely mainland species, so they're the bigger guys.
Yeah, these are gigantic. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I want to say he's like 6 years old.
Only 6, huh? Yeah. And he's that big. You know, a gecko of this size that weighs this much is absolutely incredible. I mean, this is cool, and thank you to the person that donated him to us. I mean, this is a great addition to our Leachie collection that's always growing. Now we're producing a bunch of Leachies. But again, talked about how Leachie geckos are kind of known as the largest gecko on the planet. But believe it or not, there's a larger gecko. And that's right, the Leachie gecko might be the largest gecko on the planet living right now, but is not the largest gecko to have ever lived on the planet. Believe it or not, there was a gecko named Gigarcantine dalcordi that was a gigantic gecko that lived. It actually was 2 foot long and as big as my arm.
So those Leachies that we just got are enormous. But I'm gonna show you guys some of the biggest animals we have here at the Reptarium.
Oh, Ivy! So as you guys know, Ivy is our green anaconda. Anacondas are part of the Boidae family, so this is the largest boa constrictor we have here at the Reptarium. And she is a little hungry today. So I'm gonna keep my distance a little bit because she's already coming over, so I'm gonna just get out of here real quick.
Ivy, big boa. And obviously we can't do a video without the largest animals, without visiting our girl Matilda, or Aldabra tortoise. So this is the second largest species of tortoise. And to think that she's only 17 years old, 18 years old, somewhere in there, already 170 pounds. And one day she's gonna get 400 to 700 pounds. Yep. This is definitely one of the biggest tortoises I've ever seen, and I can't wait till she gets big. Large animals, come on. I think somebody else is hungry. There's no way I'm going. So Lucy and Juliet are our biggest pythons, and I'm gonna assume Lucy's pretty hungry, but she's not getting fed today. I have no food, and if I go in there, I then become food. But it's kind of a weird double-edged sword, if you would, because Lucy's by far longer than Juliet. Like, she's like 21, 22 feet. I don't know. Giant. Juliet is like 40 pounds heavier than Lucy. And we say Lucy's really heavy, but like Juliet is like way heavy. But let's see if I can't go in here. How are you? Oh, nope, she's gonna strike. She's already essing up all the way. I love you, Lucy. Oh, now she's back up. She can win today.
Speaking of geckos, look, we got a couple cute little gargoyle geckos, New Caledonian geckos that hatched out. Of course, these guys aren't the giant ones like I'm talking about now, but still absolutely adorable. And there was actually DNA evidence that said that these giant geckos were from New Caledonia. In 1870, it was said that a Maora chief actually killed one of them that was under the bark of a tree. Now, there's no way to really know if that's a true story, but this is the only account of anyone actually seeing one in the wild. The chief describes it as being brownish and red stripes. Whether or not the story is actually true, we don't know. But what we do know is a single stuffed specimen was found in the Natural History Museum of Marseille in 1986. Scientists examining the specimen suggested that this truly is the long-lost, mysterious giant forest lizard that the legend speaks of.
Alright guys, so Elvis is obviously our largest monitor lizard that we have. Kush, the crocodile monitor, is going to get a lot bigger than the second largest monitor on the planet behind the Komodo dragon. Elvis is actually the third. So the Asian water monitor is the third largest. And I'm so happy to say that we have so many Asian water monitors in your boy Elvis, which is a fan favorite. And obviously all of our favorite too. Come on up. Good boy, Elvis. What the food I have is a little appetizer. So Elvis is like almost full grown. Reptiles never stop growing. As long as they have the nutrition, the space, they're gonna keep shedding, they're gonna keep growing, and Elvis is the perfect example of how excited we are to get him across the street into a bigger enclosure, into the swimming pool, and then we can still continue to do feedings and all the fun things. And I'm just so excited, and we love him so much. Just like your boy. I love you too. Oh, that's my nose. That's my nose. That's my nose.
Hi, I'm
largest toad at the Reptarium. I'm just joking. It's me, Mike. With L, the largest toad at the Reptarium. So this is our marine toad or cane toad. These guys are super, super invasive in like all of Florida. A bunch of different places that are subtropical. He's a massive toad. These guys can get up to like 2.5 pounds. I want to say he's like right around that 1.5 pounds maybe now. So he's definitely getting giant. But he's really, really cool and all the kids love him because it's like a giant pet rock. But it breathes and it eats. I'm not kissing you. Nuh-uh. She's cramming. Ha! I'm a giant frog! No, just joking. Still me. So this is Son of Sam, our biggest frog that we have at the Reptarium. He is giant. I can't even fit my hands around him really. He's making a whole bunch of weird noises. I really hope you don't yell over me. African bullfrog or African pixie frog. These guys are one of the largest frogs on the planet. Obviously, we named him Son of Sam because I don't know if you guys remember when we got him from Tinley last October, he was the size of his head basically. But Sam, his dad, was like 4 times this size. So we're so excited to see how big he really gets. I mean, just look at the size of this frog. He's literally the size of my hand and then sticks out twice his size. Son of Sam.
Matthew Heineke, a scientist from the University of Dearborn, which is literally 30 minutes away from here, did some studies on this. He said compared to other geckos, this one is truly monstrous and doesn't appear to be a one-off gigantism. It actually is a species that survived, and because the DNA that they were able to extract, we know that it was from New Caledonia. And we know all this because Heineke and some of his colleagues actually extracted DNA from a femur and were able to actually do the DNA sequencing on it, saying it's not only from New Caledonia, but also that it's not related to any other gecko in New Zealand. And believe it or not, it's not even related to the animals on New Caledonia. Now, it's really separated by about a 45 million year evolutionary process.
Biggest alligator at the Reptarium is definitely our girl Salt. I think it's just a little bit heavier than Pepper, but Pepper is a little bit longer. She is our albino American alligator. So one day she's gonna be 7 to 10 feet long and about 500 pounds. I'm not picking her up like this no more. She's getting heavy. I mean, the last time we weighed her, she was like 30 pounds. She feels like she's 50 pounds. Like I feel like I just picked up a 50 pound, no, I can't talk today, 50 pound dumbbell. But she's just a very thick alligator. Look how big those teeth are getting. I still love her so much. Stop watching me kiss. Hey guys, I know what you're gonna be thinking when I pull this next guy out, but stop and think about it for a second, okay? I showed you Matilda. That is our largest tortoise. But this is our largest turtle at the Reptarium. This is Bowser, the alligator snapping turtle. He is currently about 110 pounds. Definitely 110 pounds. Right now he's only 50 years old, but eventually he can live to be over 200 years old and over 200 pounds. That is twice this size. Typically you don't see him in the wild bigger than this because they eat all the food source, but here we keep him on a strict diet so we can grow him up the rest of his life and then he'll be passed on to the grandbabies and then the other grandbabies. This is our largest turtle at the Reptarium. I love Bowser, the living dinosaur. But we're super excited to see those leachies come into our collection. They are absolutely massive. Bowser's just a little bit bigger, but it's not a size competition. I'm done.
Can you imagine? I mean, Leachie geckos are a true marvel. I mean, they're gigantic geckos, can get up to 2 pounds, and we think of this gecko as being obviously a gigantic animal. Could you just imagine one that is 2 foot long? And this guy right here is one of my bigger geckos at maybe just under 2 pounds and just under a foot. We're talking about more than twice that size. I mean, a gecko that is the size of a monitor lizard. How freaking amazing is that?
So the biggest spider that we have here at the Reptarium is salmon pink Goliath bird eater. I haven't really worked with her that much. She seems friendly enough, but I'm still gonna protect myself just in case.
Oh, hell no. Way too big.
So this girl is a South American native species. Call them bird eaters because they can on occasion take small birds, size of finches, nothing too major. She can get a bit bigger actually. She can almost get a full dinner plate span. Goliath bird eaters though, they're very misunderstood. You know, if you work with them enough, they can be very docile. I have seen many people actually bare hand handle these guys, but it's always okay to proceed with caution before you actually, you know, get to know your tarantula.
Elvis, you want a snack?
She's doing good.
It's big. It's messed up.
Come on, where you going, man? It's like the size of a rodent.
Stay right there, yeah. Cause I don't want that mother to jump, cause I will be out of here. You hear me? That's crazy. Picture though.
He's the biggest spider on the planet.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Currently, our biggest mammal here is Drogo, our two-toed sloth, but one day he's not gonna be our biggest mammal. So right now he's just enjoying some breakfast. He's just giving him some of his biscuits. He's making a mess, but he's having a ball. Oh, you're making such a mess. Before you know it, this little munchkin right here, Javier, will be eventually our biggest animal that we have at the Reptarium. He can actually reach up to 150, sometimes 170 pounds. But this guy's been doing great. We've been working on some training. He's been following me around relentlessly and has been doing very well with it. Javi is a vegetarian. He absolutely loves his greens. These lettuce leaves, it's really funny. He actually makes like a ton of little juices. Grinds his teeth against it and it just drips everywhere. You're being really good right now. Social little guy. Usually these guys are very skittish. And actually an interesting fact about adult capybara, they actually have the same PSI bite force as a Siberian tiger. Some of our biggest things here at the Reptarium is making sure our animals are pretty well trained. The important thing about Javier is that he's going to be so big, people aren't going to be able to hold him. So it's very important to have us kind of showing him around, exactly having him recall when we need him to come. And he's been doing really well with it. You just saw like he followed me the whole way around. Just kind of call for him, kind of like how a parent would call for their kid. And he literally comes right to my voice. It's really the sweetest thing.
We know that geckos can actually vocalize. We hear that there's almost a barking sound that Leachie geckos make. So it makes me wonder, I want to know from you guys down in the comments, what noise do you think that this giant gecko would have made? What would they have eaten? I mean, these guys eat nectar and occasionally a bug here and there. What would a gecko that size eat in the wild? And the most important question is, do you believe there may be these specimens still alive in New Caledonia? After all, it's a pretty remote area, finding new species all the time. I would like to think that there's a chance that that gecko is still alive in the wild in New Caledonia.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember...
Okay. Other things to film. Did you get that whole thing?